Let's Talk Sports. I'm Ron Sen.
And I'm Ralph LaBella.
And we're on the heels of the Celtics opening game playoff victory against the Brooklyn Nets. An incredible game. Not only were people talking about it, players around the NBA were talking about it.
Yeah, it was an excellent game. The ending was unreal, and they got to Kyrie. People don't believe it. They thought because they got on him so much that he played that well. But Kyrie, Ron, he's been playing unbelievable basketball since he's been back. You know, when he was with the Celtics, you know, I used to look at the 10-game span. He'd have 4 really good games, 4 fair games, and then 2 poor games. Every time I watch him play, though, he's been playing unbelievable. So I feel if the fans didn't get on him, if the fans get on him, he was still going to have a game like that. And because the fans got on him, he made the 2 worst plays in the last minute of the game.
Well, he's an elite ball handler as there's been in the history of the NBA. He can finish with either hand from either side around the basket. Pro tip, one of his training methods when he was young, he'd put a basketball in a plastic bag and practice dribbling around the ball in a bag. I haven't tried that, but I don't want to be dribbling on a bread tie.
No, but he is luckily Durant didn't have a good game. I guess they got to him early, Ron, because the first 5 times he touched the ball, they were knocking the ball away from him. They were banging him. I mean, he had 4 turnovers early in that game.
Well, you know how it is when you're playing. You like to get off to a good start, make a shot or two, versus if you miss a couple shots, just sometimes it gets a little bit in your head, even if you're an incredible player like Durant. Durant's as good a player as there is in the world, as he proved during the Olympics. Celtics got off to a good start. It looked like they were going to fade down the stretch. Marcus Smart referenced that. And definitely earlier in the year, January, they would have lost that game.
Well, what happened at the end of the game, with less than 2 minutes to go, the 3 possessions the Celtics had, Tatum and Brown didn't touch the ball. 3 in a row. One Smart took a 3-pointer from the left side wing. The next time White stepped out of bounds. The next time Smart tried to go to the basket, that was probably his worst play of the game, and he got stuffed. He was off balance. They stuffed him. Horford gets the rebound and the putback. So that's 3 possessions in a row that Tatum and Brown don't touch the ball. And the biggest, to me, you know, I said last show that I'm waiting for Tatum and Brown to come up big in key situations. You know, when Tatum faded in the 4th quarter, you know, you didn't even notice him half the 4th quarter. He made that big play at the end, that spin move with the cut. But the person that I'm really happy about, we'll talk about Horford in a while, is Brown. Brown came through big time. He made that stuff from behind. Beautiful play that was. Hustled. He got banged in the nose by Kyrie and still, I mean, they hit his nose earlier. Kyrie hits his nose. He's bleeding from his nose. He comes out, makes that big play when they're down 3, taking it strong to the hoop, and Brown out-muscles Brown for that layup. And then on defense, you know, that's when Kyrie made the worst play when he got trapped, when Durant passed him the ball with 14 seconds on the shot clock. He sees the trap coming. He tried to get away from it. That was okay, I thought, thinking, let me get away from the trap. But once Smart and Horford both recovered again, and he tried to take it into the middle of the lane, he took up 3 or 4 seconds there. Now he knows he has nothing there. With both of them smothering him, now he kicks it out to Durant. Durant didn't have enough time to penetrate and pull up at a jump shot. Try to get by Tatum. Tatum made a great play. Cuts back. Tatum made another nice play on him. Stayed up tight on him. Shot the off-balance 3-pointer. And then they get the rebound, and then from there.
Well, most of their guys had a pretty good game. The only player Grant Williams was really off. He was 0 for 4. His corner off his threes weren't even close. And Tice had problems defending Claxton.
Yeah.
So
Tice didn't have a good game. But, you know, Williams, I would say, I'm not going to say another word. He felt the pressure. Okay? He played pretty good defense, though, on Durant, especially early in the game. You know, Smart had a really good game also, hitting those 4 3-pointers, you know, dishing the ball, playing good defense. But at the end, I didn't like, okay, he took the 3-pointer. That was off a pass. You don't mind that. He's stepping into a shot. But that drive he made, that was careless, and it could have cost him the game if it wasn't about Horford. He never should have made that move. He's done that at times. But all around, he played a really good game. Hartford was unbelievable.
Well, the final possession, all 5 players touched the ball, which is not typical for how they played earlier in the year. The ball movement's been much better. Not the Spurs, but Spurs light, at least at this point. So they're competitive. I don't think it's going to be a 6-game series. I think it'll probably go 7.
Yeah, but who made that play on the last play? Brown. Brown put big-time pressure. You know what I liked about Brown? He wanted it. Brown has not always wanted it at the end. Even Tatum hasn't really wanted it at the end. But Brown in the last 2 minutes wanted it. That he played his best basketball in the last 2 minutes of the game. And that's one thing that I was concerned about with him and Tatum. They usually don't come up big at the end of games.
Well, hopefully Brown can maintain his strength because he's in Ramadan, so he's fasting during the month.
But you're coaching a team. Would you have a team where Kyrie was, but Kyrie not understanding the situation and blowing it? Because he's the only one there on the help side. Okay? He sees Brown dish the ball off to Smart. Smart goes between both guys attacking him. Durant's standing out there watching him instead of watching Tatum. Kyrie is watching out there. He hesitated. He didn't see Tatum come down until the ball was in the air. And Durant's out there not knowing what the heck happened. He was sleeping. So the 2 best players, 2 of the top 5 players in the league, made bad plays at the end of the game, both offensively and defensively. And that's why the Celtics won. And the Celtics made the plays. But I give Brown all the credit for winning that when Hartford was just unbelievable.
Well, I think people forget that even great teams make errors. It was back when the Celtics won their last championship, 2008. Kevin Eastman said in a game against the Lakers they allowed 32 points on defensive mistakes during the game. So even the best defensive team maybe they ever had made defensive mistakes. So when we see teams at other levels, whether it's college or high school, and say, wow, that was really a terrible play. Well, people make bad plays, even at the highest level of basketball.
But I really think now going forward, Brown's going to be locked in. When someone comes up like he did, now, Tatum gets the winning basket, 31 points, plays a real good game. Was in the fourth quarter, you kind of was saying, where is Tatum? He wasn't involved as much. But he made that big basket, so he's going to be positive going to the next game. They all will be, but I'm telling you, the key is Brown. If Brown can have that mentality the whole game now, the whole series, it's going to be a huge difference.
Well, I wonder whether Brown will be playing with a face mask the next game, because I'm not saying he broke his nose. I have no idea.
See his nose?
Well, he's got blood coming out of both sides of his nose, so I'm presuming he's going to be wearing a face shield, which all that does is spread the damage around when you get hit in the face, because it's not like it's going to prevent it from getting hit in the face.
But how about Hartford? 41 minutes.
Right.
What a move that was, getting him back.
Well, he got a lot of rest at Oklahoma City.
No, but can you believe Philadelphia stopped playing him? Oklahoma City stopped playing him. And then he comes to the Celtics. He's like a brand new player. He's better now than he was when he was with him the first time.
Well, he had a great game, and hopefully he can keep it up. Big news yesterday is Marcus Smart got the Defensive Player of the Year award, which people have been lobbying for a long time, but it tends to be the big guys who get it because the rim protectors, players like Giannis or Rudy Gobert, who are forces at the rim. So
Williams, if Williams didn't get hurt, he would have been right in it too. Yeah,
he got 1 vote. I think it was a second place vote, but anyway, so. Good for Smart. He's been in the trenches ever since he's been here. Since they gave him the point guard job, he earned the point guard job. He seems more committed to making plays and not just taking shots.
Right. He's an entirely different player now, because I can admit that 2 years ago I wanted him gone. I said they got to get rid of him because he's hurting Tatum and Brown. But since they made him the point guard, he's really helped them out. Still playing hard-nosed basketball. I'm happy for him, but I was one of the people that wanted him out a couple of years ago, because that's all he was. He'd take those three-point shots, then he'd get aggravated with a player and they get in arguments. He went through those things. But since he's been one of the leaders of the team, he's starting. He's been playing really good.
And in other NBA news, the Lakers didn't make the playoffs this year. They didn't even make the play-in game. Lots of reasons for that. Everybody wants to blame LeBron. LeBron's a bad general manager. Obviously Anthony Davis is hurt a lot, and Westbrook just couldn't get it together out there.
No, well, you can blame LeBron for that. They didn't want Westbrook. He pushed for Westbrook. They wanted Hield. That's what they want, the general manager. He says, no, I want Westbrook. How could he want Westbrook? Westbrook is at his best when he has the ball in his hand. LeBron's at his best when he has the ball in his hand. You would think he would want Hield, a guy you can pass the ball to and that would bury the three-pointers, instead of Westbrook, who can't shoot. Well,
the hardest thing in basketball is balancing individual achievement with collaborative excellence, because we'll get into this in the coaching section, but in the NBA, everybody wants the ball, and no matter how you slice it, there's only one ball.
Well, that's why I say Tatum will never leave the Celtics. He will never, ever leave the Celtics because he knows he gets the ball in his hands when he wants it. He can control the game when he wants to. Now he's becoming a better all-around player with his passing, but why would he want to go play with a guy like Mitchell or a guy like LeBron or Doncic? He would never want to play with those guys because he would want to be he's the guy on the Celtics. Brown doesn't mind being the second, player.
Well, at least it seems like he doesn't mind. We'll find out in the long run.
No, I think that Brown is happy with that. But, the pressure's basically not on him completely. He can basically do what he wants. He's in there when Tatum's resting, but Tatum, I can't see him. I know Tatum. When they told him early on that, listen, you got to get the points, and then when Hayward left and Kyrie, the best thing that happened to Tatum was when Kyrie left. Now he's controlling the ball, where Kyrie was controlling the ball. He understands that. He's going to be making $40 million a year for the next 12 years. Tatum.
Well, I don't think anybody will be able to pay him more than the Celtics the way the NBA is set up. That they want the stars to stay on the same teams.
And people are starting to say that Tatum is going to be one of the top 5 players in the league. I don't think he's there yet. He's close. He's one of the top 10.
Well, I think he'll probably finish top 5 in the MVP voting, but we'll see.